Hello, YouTube. Glad you came. I wanted to see you again. You said on the phone that you wanted to get to know me. Well, here I am, YouTube. Look at me. I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind. I trusted you, YouTube. Alright, well, if you haven't figured it out by now, from that quote, and I guess the title of this video, I'll be reviewing The Howling from 1981, directed by Joe Dante. Now, the last review I did was American Werewolf in London, and I mentioned that that movie, along with The Howling, are probably my top two favorite werewolf movies ever made. In fact, I can't really decide between the two. Both of them have incredible special effects, with the werewolf transformation sequences being extremely well done, and looking just like a real man turning into a lycanthrope caught on camera. Just outstanding makeup work and animatronics, puppetry. I've said it a million times. I'll continue to say it till the day I die. Practical effects will always beat CGI. This looks so much more real. Well, at least most of the time. But anyway, on to the story. A television reporter named Karen White, played by D. Wallace Stone, from E.T. and Critters and Cujo, The Frighteners, and a few others. I think back then she was just Dee Wallace. I think it was before she was married. Her real-life husband, well, at the time, Christopher Stone, is in the movie as well, playing her husband, oddly enough. At least I think I have that right. Yeah. Pretty sure that's right. Before they were married, I guess. I don't know. I'm not that knowledgeable about all that, but I think that's pretty accurate. If not, don't quote me on it. But anyway, okay, so she's been receiving phone calls from a mysterious man named Eddie, which the police think is actually a rapist and serial murderer that has been stalking and killing people throughout the city. Now, they use Karen to lure him into a sex shop where Eddie Quist is the killer's name. He shows up and forces her to watch all these weird, really violent, sexual, graphic pornography films, probably snuff films, I'm going to guess. And he tells her to turn around and look at him. When he does, what she sees is so horrifying that after the police come and shoot him dead, they shoot him to the ground, she has no recollection of what happened. She suffers amnesia. She doesn't remember what she saw. She doesn't know what happened in there during her encounter with Eddie Quist, who it turns out he was the murderer the police suspected him to be. So, yeah, Karen and her husband talk to her therapist, played by Patrick McNee, and he recommends that she goes to stay at this place called the Colony, which is basically a large campsite out in the country. Really, really awesome scenery there, by the way. Really, really cool-looking forests. Great atmosphere. This movie has a great setting. I love the woods. I'm a huge nature person, so it was a real treat watching this movie for the first time and seeing that beautiful scenery. And so, yeah, she enjoys her stay. It's a cool place, yada yada. She starts to suspect her husband's having an affair with this really sexy chick named Marcia, who it turns out later on she might be related to another character in the movie. So, and all kinds of other odd things are going on. John Carradine's in this movie as well. I think it was one of his last roles, if I'm not mistaken. He was Dracula in House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula, back in like the 40s. And he was always a favorite of mine, even though I didn't really care for his Dracula when compared to like Bela Lugosi and stuff. But that's okay. He's still really cool. He does a good job in this movie. Anyway, basically what happens is she started to discover that all these people, the colony, are actually a pack of werewolves that lure their victims there and eat them. But Patrick McNee, who is revealed to... I better say there's going to be spoilers in this video. Even though it's pretty obvious, I think we all know what's going on, even by the opening. It's obvious that Eddie turned into a werewolf himself in that little booth that they were in. It couldn't be more obvious. If you didn't catch on to that, then you probably don't have an IQ over 4. So, but yeah, basically they're swarming with werewolves. Patrick Macnee's character, Dr. Wagner, I believe his name is, he's trying to get them to live in peace, not have to attack humans. I guess, I don't know, they would eat other animals or something. But, and it turns out that Eddie Quist, who, is also a werewolf, which was obvious, he escaped from the morgue, and wasn't dead, definitely not, because werewolves can only be killed by silver bullets, or being, penetrated, being, some kind of silver, something made of silver, is the only thing that can kill them. So yeah, Karen, Dee Wallace's character, encounters all these different werewolves, and her friends start getting killed. Yeah, she has some friends come visit. Other reporters, I guess they were investigating Eddie Quist's mysterious disappearance from the morgue after he was shot by the cops. But yeah, when Karen finally encounters Eddie, I guess for the second time, he turns into a werewolf. It is one of the most amazing effects you'll ever see. It's right up there with the one in American Werewolf in London. I can't really decide between the two. They're both so good. But I will say that the actual werewolves themselves, which were pretty much costumes and some puppetry, looked a lot better in this one. They moved a lot better. They looked a little more real. The werewolf in American Werewolf in London might have been a little scarier looking. It was a really terrifying beast, but I like these better. I like bipedal werewolves anyway. I think all werewolves should be on 2 legs. It makes them scarier, because quadrupedal werewolves are just like a normal wolf, pretty much. But yeah, werewolves actually stand up, I think, are much more terrifying. And I can't stand how in more recent movies have made them just look like regular wolves. In fact, some of them even use real wolves, like in the TV series True Blood, as the werewolves, which I think is just, no, come on. They should stand up. They should be like a half man, half wolf creature. But anyway, yeah, those are amazing transformation effects. I could watch it over and over again. Eddie Quist is a very creepy villain as well. He's played by Robert Picardo, who did a very good job. He's been in so many movies. I think he was in, gosh, wasn't he in like the Star Trek TV series in the 90s, I believe? And he was in Gremlins 2. He's in so many movies. He just has a very, very large resume of films. But I think this was one of his earlier appearances. But he does a great job as Eddie Quist. Who's kind of creepy. He's really creepy, but kind of charismatic at the same time, and kind of charming in a sick, twisted way. But yeah, obviously her husband becomes a werewolf too. There's a really cool, like a sex scene, I guess you could say, around a campfire with her husband and Marcia Quist, who turns out to be Eddie's sister, making love and becoming werewolves and howling at the moon. There's also a very brief shot with stop animation werewolves, which looks pretty cool, I think, but it's probably one of the weaker effects in the movie, because standing next to all those other amazing effects wizardry is just, it's hard to live up to that, though I still love stop animation for sure. But anyway, yeah, well, that's the basic premise of the movie. It doesn't really go any deeper than that. Just, a reporter and a colony full of werewolves. And it has a pretty shocking ending as well. I won't give the ending away. I know there are spoilers in this video. But really, it was obvious that they're all going to be werewolves. I mean, as soon as she arrives there, John Carradine begins acting weird, and there's just all kinds of clues. It's so I don't think that's really gives much away. Everybody is a werewolf movie. There's going to be werewolves in it, but I won't give away the ending. What happens? I won't tell you what happens to Dee Wallace's character. I will say that there's one particular special effect at the very end. There's a shot of a werewolf. I won't say who it is, but it looks more like a puppy, like a fuzzball. Yeah, it didn't really look like a werewolf. It's just kind of silly looking, especially in comparison to the really terrifying, vicious werewolves shown earlier in the film. Yeah, what else can I say about this movie? This, along with American Werewolf in London, best werewolf movie ever. I just love it. Great special effects, great storyline. I will say the sequels. That's actually a pretty big Howling franchise. They're not very good. Aside from a few amusing elements here and there, there's about 8 Howling movies now, I think. There's about 8 of them. One of them just came out recently, actually, 2011, I believe. The Howling Reborn. Following this movie, there was the Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf, which actually had Karen White's brother trying to find out more about what happened to his sister. There's showed footage of her becoming a werewolf, which was completely different than the ending of this movie. I just gave away the ending of this, didn't I? I'm sorry. Well, oh well. I said there's going to be spoilers, so there is. But anyway, I'm talking about the sequels now, so... and Christopher Lee was in it. He's in The Howling 2. It has its moments, but it's a pretty unworthy follow-up to this excellent masterpiece of a film. It's a horror masterpiece, the best, one of the best, featuring lycanthropes. Then there was Howling 3, Marsupials, which was really bad. Oh gosh, it was just terrible, almost unwatchable. There was like a bunch of werewolves disguised as nuns, and this girl who was like pregnant with a werewolf that would come out of her stomach and walk or crawl around and go back in her stomach. I don't even remember. It's been years since I've seen it, and I don't really want to force myself to sit through it again. So you'll just have to see that movie on your own and base your own opinion on it. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd say avoid it like the plague. Then there was the Howling 4, the original Nightmare, which was okay. It was a little better. Howling 5, the Rebirth. Howling 6, the Freaks, I think was the subtitle. Then there was New Moon Rising, and then most recently the Howling Reborn, which I said, was the recent one. Came out in 2011. So yeah, 8 Howling movies. Only one of them is truly great, and that's the first one. I wouldn't recommend the rest. I actually own most of them on VHS. They're in the other room. I don't feel like digging for them right now. They're not even worth it. But yeah, I highly recommend this movie. And definitely check it out. We need more werewolf movies. We really do. There's not enough good werewolf movies. We got that. American Werewolf in London, Silver Bullet, Bad Moon, Dog Soldiers, the original Wolfman, Curse of the Werewolf from Hammer. I already mentioned these in my last video, but I'm trying to think if there's like any more I might have missed. I'm sure there are others, but these are the best. So, The Howling and American Werewolf in London are definitely the two best. I think everybody can agree. But yeah, that concludes my review of The Howling from 1981, directed by Joe Dante and starring Dee Wallace, or Dee Wallace Stone, as she now goes by. I'm Hellhound, and thank you for watching my show, and until next time.